What's up guys, it's Brandon Childs, and today we're going over an exercise I call the overhead sit-to-stand. Now this is a great exercise that's going to focus on your upper back strength to really help correct any kind of rounded posture that you may have from overuse in our daily activities. It's really good for teaching you how to appropriately engage your upper back and your abs together when you're doing any kind of hip hinging activities such as, like the name says, sit-to-stands, or even if you play sports where you have to really bend down, well pretty much any sport that you have to get low and move around, it really teaches you how to keep that upper back and abs engaged with your glutes to protect your lower back and your knees to make sure you don't injure those areas. So for this you can either use a plate or a dumbbell, whatever you kind of want to use as your resistance. But when you lift it up over your head, the first thing you notice is that your elbows want to twist out. Make sure that you're really squeezing your elbows in together and that you lock them out over your head. You don't want to use a lot of arm strength holding it like this. You want to really lock it out so that you're really focusing on your upper back. Once you have that, the next thing you'll notice is that your lower back will want to stick out like that. Really engage your glutes to keep your pelvis up in the front so that your abs are working to help stabilize up there and it'll protect your back. The next part is when you do go into the squat, you want to make sure that you're nice and close to whatever you're sitting on. You can use a stool, bench, chair, whatever you want. You want to make sure that as you go down, you want your knees to be in between your toes and your ankles. You don't want to be reaching too far back because then you're going to lean forward and that weight is going to pull you forward. But you also don't want to be so far in front of it that you have to sit your butt that far back. So what it looks like when you put it all together, come up there. I like to have my feet right outside hip width. You don't want to be too close or too wide, but pelvis up, abs engaged. As you squat down, as you can see, as I go down, my back is remaining nice and straight as I go down. Again, the focus isn't on the legs or the squat for this, it's really focusing on your upper back position. So you go down, the weight's going to want to pull you forward. You have to really engage your upper back as you go down. Don't rest too much on the seat. Keep your abs engaged, and then come right back up. Now you really want to emphasize when you do go down and you do begin to stand up, you really want to squeeze your glutes and your butt at the top to make sure that you're not sticking your butt back like that. That's really bad for your lower back. So throughout the entire range of motion, keep your abs and glutes engaged, but definitely make sure you're squeezing your butt at the top. So once you've mastered the regular overhead sit-stand, you can challenge your central nervous system a little bit more by using the BOSU. Now obviously, once you use the BOSU, your hips are going to be at a lower level than your knees unless you have some kind of step blocks to raise the height. So if you have that possible, I recommend it so that you're able to start from this position and you don't have to be starting from way down here. It's a lot more challenging. It's not impossible, but first starting out, you want to try to be as level as you can, or you can go straight to the challenge. It's up to you. Whether you want to start sitting down or standing up is also up to you. For me, I like to start sitting down just because wherever I sit, I want to make sure that I'm in a position to where I know I'm comfortable standing up and I'll be nice and balanced. So just like you normally set up in the BOSU, you make sure your feet are nice and centered with the center circle here. And then from there, you keep the weight up just like you normally would. Engage your abs, slightly lean forward. And as you go to stand up, you want to lean forward just a little bit, but obviously the weight is going to keep you, or force you to keep your upper back engaged. Just make sure that when you do lean forward, you don't hyperextend your lower back like that. You keep your abs engaged as you go forward and pull the weight back. So as you go up, as you can see, the BOSU is going to want to move around a little bit and challenge your central nervous system. So when I'm at the top, I tend to bring my hips down like that. I really have to be aware of that and keep the thing nice and flat, just like that, so that I'm not overcompensating with one side more than the other. And then as I go to sit back down, really focus on keeping the BOSU flat all the way down. Like I said, my hips are below my knees, so it's a little more challenging, but not impossible. So it's the exact same thing, but now the BOSU is going to help expose any kind of imbalances that you have in your hips and challenge your obliques and core a little bit more to make sure all those muscles are firing properly so that when you go to do any kind of squatting activities, you won't be overcompensating using any muscles that could lead to injuries. The one thing that you want to make sure is that when you do set up the BOSU, is you want to have a surface to where you can kind of have the BOSU sliding underneath where you're sitting on. This is because if you have it too far out in front, then you don't want to try to sit the stand with your feet way out in front of you like that, obviously. You want it a little bit underneath you, so as you see my knees between my toes and my ankles, and when I go to stand up, it stays in that position. So I had it a little too far underneath me, so you have to move a little forward. From there, I'm holding the weight obviously, and then go from there. My knees stay between my ankles and my toes, all the way up. and all the way down. I don't have to over lean forward or rock all the way back to do the sit to stand. I can stay nice and neutral. And if you want to, you could also use the blue side of the Bosu, which is going to challenge your ankle stability a lot more and force you to stay on the inside of your feet. And if you have a tendency to roll on the outside of your ankles when you stand or do things, this is going to help expose that a lot. So you really have to engage and stay on the arches of your feet. Stay nice and straight. So you don't want to roll to the front of your toes or the back. You want to basically balance on here just with the arch to keep everything nice and neutral. So the blue side just really focuses on your ankle stability a lot more and make sure those are in proper alignment and you're not compensating that way. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. And if you have any questions or requests, make sure you leave them in the comments so that I can continue to make content that will bring out your ultra instinct.